So you sold the business for $1 billion in cash. You make your investors, yourself, everyone's walking away very happy.
Yeah.
They take the drug and maybe don't do what everyone thought was possible with it. And now you are sitting here and somehow you have the drug and they gave you cash. And now you are running a business with that drug again. How does that happen, right? There's only one other person that I know of. So I'm going to pick on him a little bit. Doug Lebda sold Lending Tree. They then grew it. And if I remember correctly, he basically sold it. It fell like 75, 80% in value. He went, bought it back, right? So he actually paid for it and then went and grew it again. And so that is a story that's happened before. I've never seen somebody sell the business and then basically the acquirer says, keep the cash, get your drug back, and like leave.
And here, we'll give you a loan so you don't have to be distracted with fundraising. It's an extraordinary story and you get smarter as you go along. So I'll tell you how that happened. Well, first of all, I could not have written this movie. Like the way that it played out, and maybe it's the first drug for female pleasure, was going to have the most insane story. Not only our story and fighting the government, but then, you win. And it's really like the entrepreneur's dream come true. We were 35 people when we created $1 billion worth of value, 35 of us. And, they were going to march it across the globe and make it affordable in ways that we really couldn't at that moment in time. They take it, they're going to keep me and all the team. They invite me to leave. 3 months later, they dismantle my entire team. They put it on the shelf. So what happens is we announce the sale. It takes a while before those close. On October 1, it closed. That was in 2015. 11 days later, they got a letter from the Department of Justice. And there was an investigation because they hadn't disclosed this pharmacy relationship that they had. No one knew. None of their sophisticated investors or anybody else knew. And the world went boom. And the truth is, we were the last thing in the door. I was not happy, I'm in the middle of about to go into a launch. And so I become a liability, I'm gone. Then the whole team is gone because they're trying to save their core business, which is burning to the ground. The day that we sold to them, like they were the darling, they were $260 a share. They traded down into the teens. So the truth is it just got deprioritized. It was put on shelf, and we had fought so hard to finally, women got one on the board, and the women who needed it couldn't get it. And I used to mystery shop it. Like I'd go to Target, can I get it? No, it's not available. Crazy. So they got a new CEO, they fired their CEO, total turmoil. And he was on the job about 2 weeks. He's a lovely man. And I sat down and I said, can I get it back? And he was like, we just paid you $1 billion for it. Like, this has a ton of value. I'm like, well, good. I'm glad you remember that because my shareholders do as well. And not in a threatening way, but like for real, there's a lot of value here. And our transaction was structured. So here's where I got smarter. When I sold Slate, I got money up front and then I got money on the back end. I participated in royalties, mailbox money for years, which was great. But it was governed by boilerplate language, best efforts clause, classic legal language, best efforts clause. Well, actually, when you do that, what you realize is, well, your best efforts and my best efforts are different. So like, as a founder, you sit there like, oh, they should be doing this or not doing that. And you like have angst about it. So when I sold Sprout, I wrote the same deal. We had all of this money coming on the back end, but it was governed by very specific performance obligations. And they weren't outrageous. They were like, how much money will you spend on marketing? How much money will you spend on field education? They weren't meeting any of them. So when they blew me off, I sued them in the court of Delaware. And in exchange for dropping the lawsuit, I got the company back and I kept $1 billion and got a loan to get started. I win, they win. They get a participation in royalties, but not a bad deal.